From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
Good morning. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, the bacon's missing, but the $14 stimulus check is not for millions of Americans. More Americans receive their $14 third stimulus check today. More will receive it later today, and more will receive it tomorrow. Is this you? I have all the details on where is the check, when will you get the check, by direct deposit, direct express, and also paper check. This is your $1,400 third stimulus check update for Monday morning. Meantime, help is here. That is the message from the White House as the White House starts a road tour starting today to push and to tell Americans about their $14 stimulus check and the other stimulus that could be coming to them as well. The 10-year Treasury note remains relatively calm ahead of a major meeting tomorrow, the FOMC meeting. Several stocks are making news as Wall Street awaits reopening across the country. There's a changing of economics happening as well, and one of your major retailers is returning. Toys R Us is coming back, baby. The butter is buttering, the toast is toasting, and the coffee's brewing. I'm here, you're here, and let's get ready to rock and roll as Mornings LALATE kicks under gear right now. It's a big morning across the country as millions of Americans start to see their $1,400 third stimulus check land in their bank account today. But will that person also be you? Or will it be tomorrow? And what is the significance of the third stimulus check for purposes of that March 17th date? What's going on for Direct Express? And when will you actually physically get the paper check as well across the board? I have all those details starting right now. Good morning, how are you? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and hopefully you have your stimulus check or it's going to come today or in the next few days. Congratulations, you're getting a $1,400 third stimulus check. And this recording, I'm going to go over all those details, including the IRS tracking tool instrument, whether the stimulus check will come by paper and when the paper dates are happening, and all the developing details across the board. Also, I have the major financial news from Wall Street happening just in the last few minutes. But first, if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. I don't want you to miss a single minute of big breaking news across this channel. This channel continues to grow very well because of the love and the information you're seeing from this channel updated by the minute. I'll be back with 2 more live shows on Mornings LA today. And also, thank you for the incredible love on Early Mornings LA. It's back on, baby, every day now here at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It returned its second show to this morning, and thank you for all the viewership of that. If you missed it, it's now taped on the channel. Let's get right to the details. $1,400 third stimulus checks will be landing in deposit accounts again today. Who, where, and how, and what is going on? Let me tell you all the details. First, a push of all the electronic deposits of stimulus checks from IRS happened on Friday. There was one single wave which started and finished on Friday from IRS. Who are the recipients of the electronic deposits of a $14 stimulus check? 3 groups. Group number 1. The first group are people who receive benefits monthly from IRS by direct deposit or on an instrument like a debit card or Direct Express. This includes SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, senior citizens who receive benefits every month on an electronic instrument, whether it's a bank account or a checking account or a Direct Express. You will receive your direct deposit as well by direct deposit. Next, the second group are people who receive their first or second stimulus check by direct deposit. They will also receive this stimulus payment of the $14 third stimulus check also by direct deposit. The third group is not particularly the clear group, and this group involves people who received first or second stimulus checks on what you call a card from their tax preparing company, or people who filed a 2020 tax return and has already shown it processed. If you filed a tax return in late February and it now shows process for the year 2020's tax return, then there's a likelihood that your stimulus check will come electronically if you provided that information. But if your tax return shows pending still with IRS, it won't go to that account that you provided IRS. So those are the three groups that are getting the direct deposit. More about them in a second. But first, let's talk about the paper checks. When are the paper checks going to be landing? The paper checks will be landing in the next few days or weeks. Current data to release today shows that under the second stimulus package, 99% of Americans received their second stimulus check, in the case that it was not missing, within 3 weeks. So paper checks were sent out in about the second week after it became law. And that viewers got them in the second to third week after it became law. So if you're a paper check recipient or a debit card recipient on a debit card from IRS, then you would likely receive it next week or the week after. They're going out later this week, presumably, based upon that time frame. All right, let's go over the $1,400 direct deposit stimulus check. What do you need to know about the receipt of the stimulus check? Here's what you need to know. There was one push of the stimulus checks on Friday. Needless to say, over the weekend, a lot of fake narratives circulated. And these are the false stories. These stories are false. First, that IRS has not sent out stimulus checks and won't send them out to March 17th. That's a fake narrative. Number two, that IRS is holding stimulus checks for certain groups and that certain groups won't get their stimulus checks electronically until after other groups. Also untrue. There was one single push of the stimulus checks on Friday, and the only factor that's impacting your receipt of the stimulus checks is not the sender, but the recipient. Not you, but your banking institution. Understand very clearly, as I look right at you at the camera, thousands, if not tens of thousands of viewers of this channel have received the $1,400 third stimulus check. They have received it even if they're on SSI. They have received it even if they go to a major tax preparer company with those cards that they do the returns on. They have received it even if they're at a big bank or a commercial credit union. Viewers have received the $1,400 stimulus check. The only reason you may not have yet received it is not because of you personally, but because of the bank or institution you receive funds from. They will be giving you those funds in the next few days. So what's going on? Will you receive them on March 17th or will you receive them on March 18th? And how do you track those stimulus checks between now and then? I have more of those details coming up in a second, but first let me turn to some other breaking news just minutes ago about your $1,400 stimulus check. The President of the United States, the Vice President, her spouse, and the President's First Lady will all appear across the country starting today on what's called a road tour to promote the $1,400 stimulus check and moreover to tell you about the other items that you can get in this third stimulus package that are $5,000 to $30,000. This tour is called the Help is Here Tour, and it kicks off today. The White House will start with Harris going to Las Vegas and Jill Biden going to New Jersey's elementary schools. The president will speak today from the White House about your third stimulus check of $1,400, and he will also visit small businesses throughout Delaware and Pennsylvania tomorrow. Meantime, both he and VP Harris will appear in Atlanta tomorrow. Why are they appearing in Atlanta and what is going on? This is basically a push by the White House to ride the wave of the stimulus package as a hope to hold the Senate in the midterm elections next year. As you know, the Senate's now tied, and they narrowly captured those Georgia Senate seats. President Biden, under who Biden was vice president, had a problem in telling the American people what his stimulus package provided. The net result was Barack Obama watched as he lost the Senate and lost the House in the midterm election to the Republicans. The president is seeking to do the reverse by appearing across the country to tell Americans of the other items that are $5, $10, $20,000 in this third stimulus package, which you can get, and that you should not only focus on the $14 stimulus check. That's a similar message that I have been delivering to viewers this channel, that while you're getting a $14 stimulus check, it's not time to cash out. It's not time to run for the hills. It's not time to sit into a complacency of receiving a $14 stimulus check and say that's enough, because this president has given you tens of thousands of other money in the stimulus package, and we will have several weeks until another stimulus package comes to law. So he wants you to get these other tens of thousands of dollars, and this is a very important message. The Help is Here tour, however, is prompting a little bit of controversy among viewers of this channel. The reason why is simple. Last week I told you that the Help is Here tour is being matched with a massive ad campaign telling millions of Americans that the president delivered penny to penny exactly the stimulus check which he promised, which he did not, the unemployment assistance, which he did not, the SSI and SSDI, which he did not, and the hazard pay, which he did not. And yet that is the message the president wants Americans to hear. Also appearing will be VP Harris in Las Vegas, and Transportation Secretary will go to UPS distribution centers in Maryland tomorrow and today. So a lot of big developments across the board. But one of the big things you need to know is that your fourth stimulus package could be dependent upon this man. Who is this? This is Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve. And your $1,400 stimulus check may sound wonderful now, but there's a push underway for reoccurring stimulus checks every month for 6 months until the pandemic ends. Let me explain what's going on. This is huge math here. Democrats in both the House and Senate want you, under the next stimulus package, which starts to work on today, to receive reoccurring monthly stimulus checks to the end of this year. Presumably, the dollar figure is $2,000. $2,000 at 6 months is $12,000. This is huge for the viewers of this channel for several obvious reasons. $12,000 is a lot more than $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. And yes, people on SSI and SSDI would qualify for this $2,000 a month stimulus check. Next, it's more than FPUC retro from July to December of last year. Third, it's more than hazard pay under the HEROES Act. And fourth, it's more than any other push of any other subject matter that viewers of this channel have wondered. That push for fourth stimulus heats up already, as Democrats in both the House and Senate have demanded the president to have that in his next stimulus package. But the impact of that could be felt starting tomorrow. Why tomorrow? This person, head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, will have what's called the FOMC meeting. And the FOMC meeting is March 16th and March 17th. And at that meeting, he's expected to address whether he needs to raise interest rates because of new GDP forecasts based upon the new $1,400 third stimulus package. That OMC meeting will be on the heels of what the U.S. Treasury is doing right now. What is the U.S. Treasury doing right now? Starting this new morning, the U.S. Treasury is relatively calm. It has stayed at 1.6 throughout much of the day. At 8:45 a.m., it was at 1.163%. But a really surprising new report out today from Goldman Sachs' chief U.S. strategist, David Kostin, says we believe equity valuations should be able to digest a treasury yield going to 2% without difficulty. 2%? This is huge. Yesterday and over the weekend, I told you that if you saw the 10-year Treasury go over 1.7, you should be concerned about forced stimulus. You should be concerned about inflation. You should be concerned about growth. But now the head of Goldman Sachs says this economy is totally fine with a 2% 10-year Treasury. This is huge. If that's true, then it lines up with everything that Janet Yellen, head of Treasury, and Jerome Powell, head of Federal Reserve, has said in the last few days. Yellen yesterday said, we're fine with some inflation. This economy will continue to move as it is, and we need more stimulus because there's unemployment. So this is really the first time anyone from a major bank has said this great news, that this economy can stay at a 2% inflation and we could still see more stimulus. Now, what about what's happening across the board with other things, including that IRS tracking tool? Questions are surrounding about, one, the IRS tracking tool, your $14 stimulus check. Second, the transcript tool for tracking your stimulus check as well. Third, the non-filer filing. Fourth, the confusion about Direct Express. Fifth, that March 17th date. Are you going to get it on March 17th, or is that actually a date that signals March 19th receipt? A lot of details and a lot of things to answer, and I'm going to answer them right now. But first, here's a commercial break. Be back with you in 90 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement is continuing as millions of other Americans receive their $14 third stimulus check today. But will that be you? And what's the significance of that March 17th date? And what about those IRS tracking tools? Do they work or do they not work? And what about Direct Express? I have all those answers starting right now. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We are breaking developments across the board, minute by minute, about the receipt of the stimulus check. We are on the cusp of everything by the minute because you are the eyes and ears of everything that's happening. Thank you for your incredible messages, so make sure you subscribe, also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is in the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. The stimulus check could land on March 17th. What is the significance of that date? Let me explain it right now. Several big banks have decided that while they have received the funds, they will not release them to another date. Understand the entire push to the electronic deposits occurred on Friday. There's no other push occurring by IRS. IRS is not pushing the stimulus checks out on the 17th, is not holding them on the 17th to the 17th. Rather, it has to do with the recipient, not you, but your bank. Several banks have determined March 17th is the date. So what does that mean specifically for you? It could mean one of three things. One, the funds are available on March 17th. Two, the funds are processing and pending the next day for the 18th. Or three, that the funds may be pending on the 17th and may not be available for a day or 2 days. Ultimately, if you show it pending and processing, this is great news. Now, let me explain the word pending and processing and you and your relationship with your bank. There is nothing you can particularly do that is faster in the receipt of the funds. Calling up IRS does not speed up the stimulus check sending. Calling up your bank does not send up the speed of the deposit of the stimulus check. The only phone call that could help you is the following phone call. If you have online banking access to your banking account and you show something's pending, it does not show what date the funds will be released. This is only in the case in which it shows pending. It does not show in online portals what day the funds will be released. If you do not know the answer because you've not done this before, and you don't see the routine nature that it shows pending and then 24 hours it's usually release, then if you do call up your bank, they could tell you when something goes pending to processed, meaning if something's pending, your bank can tell you on the phone when it's available for withdrawal, for actual use of the funds. Next, what's important to understand is that who you are is not a depending factor on when you're getting the stimulus check. It's rather the banks. And so several banks have decided to determine when to release those funds. In the case of Direct Express, in the case of credit unions, and the case of big banks, it just depends on what they have chosen. And there's nothing, unfortunately, you can do to speed up the process because these are computers talking with computers. Ultimately, the funds will be released. And when those funds are there and cleared, they are yours to take out of the account and use them however you wish. So go ahead and use them. But what about those online tracking tools? Do they work or do they not work? And how about that non-filer filing? Let me go over all of them right now. First, the non-filer filing. It was a tool that launched in 2020. It no longer functions. It no longer exists. If it helped you fix something in 2020 and you're still fixed, great. You cannot use the tool anymore to fix a new problem. The tool is no longer with us. Then let's turn to the IRS tracking and the IRS transcript tool. First, the IRS tracking tool. Let me say it this way. Both of them are not reliable instruments. They are not reliable instruments, and in no way should you rely upon the information in the tools. Since 2020, they have been consistently inaccurate. Now, here's how you should look at the instruments. First, if you get some benefit of the information, great. But if you use the information and if you use the tools and you see no information, do not presume that you're not getting a stimulus check. I'll say it this way. There are countless viewers who are using the tools and they're getting no results, zero, to which they are assuming they're not getting a stimulus check. No, the tool doesn't work. Second situation, where they're using the tool and they're seeing a date and they're using that date as a means to guide the process through beginning to end. Also unsuccessful. Don't do that. In 2020, countless viewers saw a date in the tool, and with that date, they freaked out because they presumed the date was accurate. The date is historically inaccurate. An example of how inaccurate the tool is that people would see the date and days would go on and they still would not receive anything. And they would say, well, that date said I was supposed to get it. No, the dates are historically inaccurate in the tool. So the net result is do not rely upon the tool for information. If it gives you some benefit, great. But other than that, it is historically inaccurate. So what is the best way to know what day you're getting the stimulus check? The best way to know is ask other people who do business with your bank. But what is the other money you're getting in this big stimulus package? I'm going to go over those details right now. In addition to a stimulus check, you're going to get an extension of UI and PUA and FPUC. UI, FPUC, and PUA are now extended to September 6. FPUC is extended at $300 a week. The first $10,200 of your 2020 unemployment is now tax-free if you made less than $150,000. To fix it, you need to file an amended return. Next, COBRA benefits are cheaper. The government will be paying all your COBRA premiums from April 1st to September 30th. This is great news. Thereafter, premiums are less. Premiums on those plans will cost no more than 8.5% of your adjusted gross income thereafter. There's a child care tax credit, and that child care tax credit is for children up to age 13 at 50% of your child care costs. The calculation grows to $4,000 for one child or up to $8,000 for two or more children. Then what it's often called the child tax credit is the $5,000 or $4,400, or whether you call it $3,600 or $3,000. This is an advance on your 2021 taxes that's paid starting in the month of July. Children who are 5 to newborn will get $300 a month starting in the month of July for 12 months. Children 17 to 6 will get $250 a month starting in the month of July for 12 months. This is not dependent upon any other factor except your income level. You have to make less than $75,000 individual or $150,000 married couple. IRS needs to know the child exists to make the payment. If they don't know the child exists, they can't make the payment. Then there's hazard pay in the third stimulus package, not by name, but by principle. Hazard pay is paying $1,502 on your 2021 tax return as an earned income tax credit if you're over 19 years of age and you made less than $25,000 as an essential worker. Elsewhere, there's incredible great news of a rental assistance in this third stimulus package. That rental assistance in this third stimulus package is rent for low-income, middle class, and also homeless people. You only need to show financial hardship directly or indirectly because of the pandemic. Then, homeowners have incredible relief as well. Homeowners have assistance with mortgage payments, even privately held, including utilities and other housing costs. And roughly $1 million will be dedicated to housing in this package. Finally, big support for restaurants, businesses, and elsewhere. Restaurants will get grants calculated at 2020 revenue subtracted from 2019 revenue. The grants are available from SBA.gov. They're currently not yet live. And then there's the EIDL grant, $5,000 for any business that existed during the pandemic that lost between 30 to 50% and had less than 10 employees. That application process will only be open for 14 days, but will likely run out of funds in 3 days. It has yet to go live, but could go live any minute at SBA.gov. And this channel will have the details when it goes live. So when will you actually physically see that $1,400 stimulus check by direct deposit, direct express, or electronic receipt? Certainly by the end of this week. You should not be on high alert or alarm or concern that anything is missing. But if you go into the end of next week and you have not received direct deposit, then at that point, it is likely that you may have to request a missing stimulus check. It is too early for that cause of concern. Elsewhere, there is big breaking news across the board this morning as Wall Street deals with some big movers. And who are those big movers? Well, Carnival Cruises told the Financial Times that the cruise industry may not be good for at least to the end of 2023. Carnival's up 1.2% in pre-market trading. AMC, the movie chain, is doing quite well. It's up 8.6% generally today on news that it will start to reopen in Los Angeles. 25 theaters will open on Los Angeles by Friday. 2 are opening today, and all 56 locations may open in the next few days. Ford Motor Company, in turn, is recalling 2.9 million vehicles to check for a faulty airbag. The popular online stock Dollar General for the retailer is getting an upgrade to overweight from neutral from Atlantis Equities. And finally, American Airlines Northwest are showing progress as a new report from NTSA says that demand is increasing, that airport screening levels are at a 1-year high. This may be good news for a lot of jobs across the board. Finally, one of your big favorites is back, and I'm not referring to Evenings at LA. Toys R Us. Yes, Toys R Us is back, baby. Later this year, the embattled company will be emerging from the ashes. A company bought it out of bankruptcy a few years ago and is now announcing today that Toys R Us will reopen later this year across the country with big retail stores just in time for the holiday season. I'm really excited for you. It's a big day, and there's a lot of big news in this recording, as you can see. The continuation of Mornings LA follows shortly with big updates about Direct Express specifically, And also, the big money you can get under third stimulus. It's very important to understand that there's $5,000 to $30,000 of money you can get under this third stimulus package. I'm going to be showing you over Mornings LA how you need to be ready to get that money. Because while we didn't expect stimulus stampede, that could change starting today, as the President of the United States, the Vice President, the First Lady, and the first guy all appear across the country to tell Americans, go get this big other stimulus. A message I've been telling you for a while. If you've not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe. Also like this video. Thank you for all the wonderful chat comments throughout this video, and I'll see you in just 5 minutes as Mornings LA continues on LALATE.